Hey guys, it's Courtney, and welcome back to my channel, Netchicks. And today we're going to be discussing a really great movie that came out recently. It's called Captain Marvel. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but it's really good. Came out actually March 8th of this year, so definitely check it out if you have Disney Plus, or if you want to, go to the Red Box and waste like $1.50 when you can just get Disney Plus, which is really great. I did a whole video about it. You should check it out. But yeah, so I had a lot of thoughts about this movie because of all of the mounting controversy that came with it before it came out, and then all of the issues after it came out, and the bad reviews, and just it was just a whole thing. So for those of you that don't know, and I'm gonna do the best with what I can remember, but there was a lot of issues with how Captain Marvel was received. So a lot of the conservatives were saying that it had a lot of like feminist propaganda and like anti-male sentiment, and so like a lot of conservatives weren't going to go see it. And then like a lot of liberal people were saying that's a really great movie and it's about girl power and we don't need men and this, that, and the other thing. And I remember there also being an issue with some people just saying that they just felt like Captain Marvel was a really flat character. And I don't know, it got to the point where I just pretended like it didn't exist, and I didn't really care about her character once Infinity War came out and Endgame. So it was like, what's the point? Like, why should I care about this character? And if she's so amazing, how come she isn't like just defeating Thanos? And it's just, I don't know. It was just a whole thing. And so I was like, how about I just watch it for myself? Like, I am a thinking, being. I have my own thought processes. I have my own emotions. I have my own opinions. Why not just go and watch it myself on Disney Plus? I have it and I'm paying monthly for it. Might as well just watch it. So I spent the time to watch it, and I was plagued with a lot of thoughts on, how I felt about it. So I'm just going to jump right into it. And I'm also going to read the IMDb on here for it, the quick plot synopsis about what it's about, just for those of you who have not seen it. So basically, it says Carol Danvers became one of the universe's most powerful heroes when Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races. So the two alien races are the Skrull and the Kree. Carol is, there's going to be some spoilers, but you guys had like a whole year to watch it, so that's not my fault. Um, but Carol was raised by the Kree, and the Skrull are the bad guys. But then apparently there's like a whole plot twist, and it turns out this the other way around, and that the Skrull were people who were kept away, and they're trying to be eradicated by the Kree, and the Kree are like, I don't know, they're just like really bad guys, and you shouldn't be associated with them. And they kidnapped Carol, and they didn't help her get her memories back, and they killed her mentor, and it's just a mess. But yeah, so but as you keep watching the movie, like it a lot of it felt like it was more of a like coming of age film, because Carol was kind of like, I feel like this is sideways. This is ridiculous. There we go. Carol was kind of like finding herself a lot in this. Yeah, she lost her memories, but she also forgot who she was as a person. So because she didn't have any memories, she didn't know her like identity. So she, like, while fighting bad guys and searching the universe and traveling all over, not all over America, but just traveling with Fury and all of her friends, she kind of ended up finding herself, which was really nice to see. Like, usually that arc takes a long time. Like, we saw that with Tony Stark in the last three Iron Man movies, and then some of himself in Age of Ultron and Captain America Civil War. And we saw a lot of that too with, well, we didn't really see that with Captain America. He's not necessarily a flat character, he's just like a confident character. But yeah. So, but yeah, it did feel like a coming of age film. And honestly, as for the issue with her character, I wouldn't say that she was flat necessarily. I would say that she was like human but perfected, if that makes any sense. Let me just go into it. So basically, I felt like she wasn't she was very funny. I felt like she had a sense of humor. lots of sarcastic jokes, and she was able to banter back and forth with Fury, and it kind of helped them with their relationship. She made Fury laugh, which I don't think, if I remembered all movies, because I feel like I've seen every single Marvel movie. Fury has never laughed. So seeing him like giggle and pal around and like play with like a little cat, which actually was not a cat, was really cute. And I understood why they had such a good relationship. Coulson was extremely serious. I'm not used to seeing him that serious. I'm used to seeing him as like a fanboy or something, but whatever. Um, and I don't know. I felt like, let me see. But yeah, I remember she also fell down a lot, and I think that's the point that this film was trying to make, was that it's not necessarily that she was perfect; it was just that she was persistent. And like there was this scene where she was in like that mind control machine, and they were trying to get her to like I don't know, get her to like mentally submit so that they could take away all of her powers. And she was like, "No, you're not going to take away my powers." And she was like, "Well, you always fail and like you never succeed." But then all of a sudden she was like, "Wait a second. Every time I fell down as a kid, like when I was roller skating or learning how to ride a bike or I'm in the roller derby, I got back up." And that was something that she did. And it was, I feel like that was the female empowering part. And also just like the empowering part in general, like it doesn't just have to be female. Like she wasn't afraid to stand back up and do what she was supposed to do. She knew she had a job, she knew she had an objective, and she went and she did it. And I really, really liked that about this character. Um, I felt like I also liked how they talked about how emotional she was, but she never was actually emotional. Like I felt like that was more of a thing that they used to make her feel bad for like for being female, maybe. I don't know. They didn't really do that with anyone else, but they always said that she was very emotional. They always told us that, but we never actually saw it. We never saw her lose her temper, except when she would use her powers whenever she didn't want to fight physically. That was the only thing I felt like was not consistent with what the movie was telling us. It's like, why are you telling us she's emotional when you could just show us she's emotional? She never cried. She never lost her temper, really. I mean, she did steal that one guy's bike. That was pretty rude, even though he wasn't even really catcalling her, which everyone references. And it's like, it wasn't even that serious of a catcall. Like, I don't know. Like, that was the nicest one I've ever seen. But they kept saying that, like, it was an issue. So, and they were like, yeah, that guy got what he deserved, and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, I don't know. But I felt like in the time that we had, she did grow a lot. You know, I wish she was able to do that on a multi-movie basis, like the character development that we've seen with Tony or Bucky. But you know, Carol's a good character, and honestly, I don't know where she went. Like, why she wasn't in more movies? And I guess maybe there were licensing issues or something, but I felt like she would have been a good character in the other films. Like she would have just been fun. But yeah, I feel like she's stubborn, she's sensitive, playful, decisive. You can definitely tell she's sensitive and she's like emotionally aware, but I never felt like she was anything else. And I felt like her character arc was resolved and now she could figure out herself. I know that the film dealt a lot with manipulation, like her relationship with Jan Reg. I felt like he made her feel like she had to prove something to him, which I kind of relate to. But I don't feel like, well, yeah, and I do feel like that was a part of her arc, and it closed out well. She, you know, she beat him up, but she let him live, and then she told him to tell everyone else, "Don't be coming to this planet because I'm gonna kill all y'all if you do, and that I'm gonna end this war," just like she did for her mentor, which I felt like was great. Yeah, and I don't know, but yeah, that was it. Another thing I found kind of confusing was exactly her powers. And I did a little research, and I guess they go under the branch of celestial powers, which means that she just has the power of like space and time in general. So that's it. I don't know. I felt like she got a grip of her powers way too easily, which is a trope that really annoys me. It's like if we're gonna show this character getting a hang of themselves, The powers need to represent their mental stability. So no one is just suddenly mentally stable and like they totally understand how to do all the things in the world and be confident, be a leader, and this, that, the other thing. That doesn't happen in real life. So I would have really, really liked to have seen, I don't know, I would have liked to have seen like there'd be like a couple of scenes where like she's able to shoot and then she realizes she can walk through a wall, but she gets stuck and I don't know, she shoots things out of her eyes when she focuses or something. But it's just like every time we see her powers before the final climactic scene, she's just like shooting stuff as if it's a gun that's attached to her hand, which is cool. It's cool. It's great effects, but let's make that consistent. Is that her only power? No. So why aren't we using it in other parts of the movie? It just it's just a thing that bugs me. And it's like they keep doing this thing where like characters are just entering nirvana and they're fine and they understand how to do everything. It's really annoying. Yeah. So I would have liked to have seen her use her powers a little bit better. Um I felt like the relationship that she had as well was really, really good. Like her relationships with Monica was good, and you could see it in the photos and you could kind of feel the emptiness too, which I feel like they did a good job of because Monica was grieving her best friend, and all of a sudden her best friend shows up but doesn't know who she is, and I felt like the conversation that she and Monica had was really, really good. Just like very emotional and heartfelt, but like Carol felt more sad that she couldn't feel the same way that Monica felt. But like towards the end of it, she was able to feel the same way that Monica felt about their friendship. And I felt like that was really sweet. And I felt like that was a good ending to it. And also, I'm really, really glad that we didn't do stereotypes. Like no one was ghetto in this movie. I was so happy. No one was ghetto. No one was like Chris Rock or obnoxious or what was the black dude from what's that movie that I love so much? Rush Hour? Yes. The black dude from Rush Hour. There's always like a character that's like that. That's just like really loud and obnoxious. But everyone was like played down and just really, really like I don't know, they were just people. They were just people who just happened to be black. And it was great. I loved it. One thing that did bother me, which I never read the comics, and some people might find this a really annoying nitpick, and you guys can yell at me in the comments. It's totally fine. Um, was the fact that Monica was a single mother. So I was raised by a single mother. I have no problem with single mothers. It's just that we don't really get to see a whole lot of black people that are married in films anymore. Or if they are married, they're married to like a white person, which I can't really argue with because I'm married to a white person. But that's like in millennial films. But whenever we reference the 90s, never get to see the father together. The father and mother together is what I mean. And that just kind of made me sad. And like if it reflects the comics, that's fine. I want to stay true to the comics. That is my number one goal more than anything, is to stay true to the comics. And we did get to see the grandparents together. We didn't physically get to see the grandparents. I mean, like we saw the back of their heads, but you know, whatever. But I would really, really like to see more black people together or black people married. You can marry whoever you want. I would really like to be encouraging proper marriage. But that's just me. But yeah, I felt like the relationship was great. Monica was an excellent character. Nick Fury giggling, still not 100% over that. And the Kree and Skrull plot twist is the last thing I'm going to go over. I was a little annoyed with the fact that they were like evil, but it turns out they were actually good guys. And I don't know. One, I feel stupid for not seeing the plot twist earlier because I'm pretty good with plot twists. I can pretty much, predict all of them. But the fact that I couldn't tell what was going on was a little annoying. And then also I felt like Talos, who was like the main Skrull leader. I'm trying to make sure I don't mix up Skrull and Kree. If I do, please forgive me. He was the main Skrull leader. I felt like Talos like magically became a kitten. like just snuggly, cooperative, like a team player, kind of funny. And it was like, you were trying to kill us most of the movie, and now you're just like this sweet, cuddly guy. Like, I was really annoyed. I was really annoyed, and they were just like super oppressed. Like, I would have liked to have seen some fault. Like, you guys killed a lot of my men, and I'm kind of butthurt about it. Like, that's what we would like to see Captain Marvel do, but that's not what happened. And honestly, it's fine. It's totally fine. I don't care. It was just a cute movie. It wasn't a cute movie. It was a good movie. I felt like we actually did a new character well, just like how we did with Iron Man, introducing him for the first time, or Thor introducing him for the first time. I'm glad it wasn't a failure like the Hulk. That's all I'm gonna say. And before I die and leave this earth, I would really like to see a Hulk movie done well, or a She-Hulk movie. But I know that's impossible. So I'll just make that a wish. It'll just be a private wish between you and me. And yeah, so that's it. So that's pretty much my whole review of Captain Marvel. I definitely think you guys should give it a look if you do have access to it. I would not spend money buying it for someone. But I definitely think everyone should at least watch it once because it is a really good movie. And I felt like she was a female character that was done well. She was still female. She was still a young woman who was feminine, and it was nice. So yeah, so please definitely check out my other videos. I've done a few more about whether or not Disney Plus is worth it. If you could like and subscribe, that would be awesome. And I will see you guys soon. Bye. Have a great Christmas.